Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mom Life Coaching. Sorry, it's so early in the morning, but I really wanted to get this video for you guys. So I want to tell you guys, teach you guys how to help your kids. As a neurodivergent ADHD mother, what do I do, or how do I teach my kids, right? Because there's so many things in the world, and we as parents, it's our responsibility to teach our kids the truth of the world, so I came up with this idea. I call it the 7 C's, the 7 C's of the world. And this is to help with good, so your kids can have good relationships with other people, and just overall really help them to shape them. So the 7 C's are common sense, communication, consistency, compassion, compromise, commitment, consideration. Okay, so those are the 7 C's that I use, and I teach them what it means. So common sense is not common. Just because it's common sense to you isn't going to be common sense to somebody else, So helping them to have a little bit of common sense, and and you kind of have to show them too, like, well, do you think that was like, what kind of sense was that? Why didn't you put your book down and then open the door? So common sense isn't common, and at a really young age, they can't grasp a lot of stuff yet, but showing them and how to do it, and like I will show them the word, and then I will give them an example of the word, and then I will show them what it looks like, and then we go. So every single night we sit at the table and we talk about our day, and then the kids talk about pros and cons. So I have 2 sheets of all the pros. These are all the pros. It has the 7 C's in there, and then the kids gave me a couple of words that were con. So we came up with a couple of words that were con. Okay, so we will stick to the pros for today, and they will tell me about their day, and then 1 pro, 1 con about their day. And at first we started talking about just the 7 C's, but then the kids got really good at doing the 7 C's, that I start putting more words to and adding more words to it. But I gotta tell you guys, like, such a proud mom moment, I cried. Like, it was so beautiful. Because you always wonder if these kids, if any of these words are resonating with them, like, are they holding the knowledge, So I do it every single day. I'm very consistent with my kids about teaching them the 7 C's. So yesterday, Friday, my daughter was telling me about her day, and I'm so proud of my daughter. I'm so proud of Catalina. She is, I always wonder if she can comprehend some of these words, and and they listen. They do. They really truly listen. If you guys don't think that they hear you. They do, but you have to be consistent, So she was telling me that her teacher, they were doing a project, right? And one of the boys wanted to do something, and the other girl wanted to do something else. And the teacher's like, well, what is that word? Does anybody know what that word was? And Catalina's all like, I knew what the word was, Mom, but I didn't say anything. And then I raised my hand and I told the teacher that the word is compromise. And I'm like, oh, yes. Like, such a proud mom moment. I was so proud of this girl. She makes me so proud. And then the teacher goes, yes, Catalina, can you explain to us what compromise mean? And she said, well, when somebody wants to do one thing and then the other person wants to do another thing, you know, you guys can compromise and you guys can still do it together, you know, and that's how we problem solve. And I'm just like, that's my girl. That's my girl. That's my girl. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her to be able to teach her classmate what compromise is and what compromise look like, because we talk about it so much, because you know we have 5 kids together, right? And you know, sometimes the kids fight and then they argue and they yell, and then you know, so I say to them, like, why don't you guys compromise? Why can't you guys compromise? And so slowly they learn how to do it, where Sky and Carter has to do chores. They compromise and they said, well, I will clean the top rack of the dishes, and Carter, you can clean the bottom rack. And I said to them, like, look at you guys, problem solving, compromising each other and still helping each other out. I'm very proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. You know, when they do good, you have to praise them. You tell them that you're proud. Acknowledge that they're doing good. You know, you have to give them these things to your kids so that because I told my kids that these things that I'm teaching you guys will use it for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you guys will always use these words, okay? So the 7 C's are so important. You know, I tell them good communication. You guys have to have good communication. Like, I can't read your mind. I don't know what you want. You have to be able to communicate what you want and what you need, because there's no way that I can be able to tell why you're upset. You know, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I don't know. So I can sense that you're mad, but I don't know what you're mad about, you know? So good communication. I say effective communication is what I always say to them. You can communicate, but I don't understand your communication. So the communication is one thing that is still really hard, but I feel like the more you help them and the more you show them good communication skills, that it just comes natural. And that's why I always told my kids, the more you guys learn how to do this, it just comes easy. And then being consistent. You know, I tell them, you guys are going to go to school for the rest of for 18 years. You have to learn how to be consistent. You have to learn how to wake up at a consistent time and do your guys' work. You know, consistency is a very big word, because we have to do it continually to reach our goal. There is an end goal. This is why we're doing this. So you have to learn how to be consistent. And then compassion, you know. When you are compassionate, you care about other people, you're kind and you're humble, you know, and you don't go and belittle people. You learn how to be kind, really learn how to be compassionate, you know, with your work. You will always learn that when you are so passionate about certain things, that you'll go far in life. So I teach my kids these things. And, you know, being considerate, like, what does consideration look like? You know, I tell my kids, you know, you guys might think that I love to wake up and make them breakfast and all that stuff. And I'm very considerate, because I think of my kids and I want them to eat before they go to school. And I'm worried about their health and their welfare. So I'm very considerate of their health. But I always tell my kids, you know, just because we are the parent, right? And you guys think that we are Superman. They think that we're superhero. They think that we don't bleed blood. But we bleed blood. We do, you know? And that I had to teach the kids how to be considerate for each other's feelings, for my feeling, for their brother and sister's feelings, for their teachers' feelings. Like, you guys have to really be considerate of these teachers, because, you know, they don't get paid much. They just get paid a little bit. And for you guys to go to school and be a sheted, that's not allowed. I don't appreciate you guys being like that. You know, you guys be considerate that these teachers are trying their very, very best to give you free knowledge. Free knowledge. Why won't you guys just try to be good students? you know, and help your teacher along. You guys have to be very considerate. You know, it's a hard job already, and you guys are making it way harder than what it should be. Why don't you guys just shut up and listen to what the teacher had to tell you? Why do you guys have to make this hard? There's no need to make this hard. Be considerate. Be considerate of people's feelings. Be considerate of other lives, you know? So I pound all these things to my kid's head. And honestly, I thought that, man, they're not going to hear me. I think that, oh, it's not going to work. But little by little, you plant little seed. You plant little seed in their brain, okay? Good seed. Things that is going to bloom, okay? So, you know, they need these things. They need a foundation. They need structure, okay? So when you start giving them structure and foundation, they start changing up here, and then they start thinking because you do it every day. It's in my blood to teach my kids the truth of the world, the honesty of the world, what the world entails, what it's all about. And you guys as the parent have to give them the tool to help them to be successful, okay? And these are the things I'm teaching my kids. And if this message resonate with you guys, teach your kids the 7 C's of the world, okay? There's so many things. And teach them what it looks like, okay? Show them what it looks like. So for my son, my oldest, you know, I'm really teaching him how to communicate, because as a boy, you know, okay, we gotta work on this, okay? So slowly I start teaching them good, effective communication, you know. I start with, I feel, you know, I need, I want. I feel like I want to go to this party with my friends, but I don't know if I really want to, you know. Oh, why don't you want to? Is there something more? And then he start talking to me about how he really truly feels. And that's what you want. You want your kids to trust you. You want your kids to be able to come to you and tell you and not be afraid. Because if they are afraid of you, and okay, you have to give your kids trust, that they can trust you. You're not going to belittle them. You're not going to talk down on them. You're not going to be like, well, why'd you do that? That's so stupid. You know, don't talk like that to your kids, okay? You guys need to learn how to talk to them like adults, okay? Why adults, right? Because they're only kids for such a small time frame. And then the rest of the time, they are adults. But you have to learn how to teach them in a manner where they understand at the level where they're at, too. So if they're 14, 10, 9, 7, 5, teach them at that level to understand. But you have to continue to teach them year after year. As they grow, you start changing your tactic and start changing them how to talk to them as an adult. Because and I did the same thing too, because I always thought, oh, they're just kids. It's not true. It's not true. They are adults. Okay? And when they look and they see and they feel, and what you're saying is not lining up to what you're saying, and you're saying something else, and you're saying one thing and doing another, that's like being a hypocrite. You cannot be like that. Do not be a hypocrite. Okay? And I hate the phrase, do as I say and not as I do. That's some BS right there. That's some hypocrite. I'm sorry. That's some old school shit. You guys gotta throw that away. I do not, that does not resonate with me, because that you are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. You cannot be a hypocrite. You have to be the change that you want to see. If you want to see that your kids need to be this and this and this and that, then you có kia nè có tụ kinh à có chỉ tao bảo cái lúc xưa cái luôn chữ thế nào you có thể chỉ bảo cái lúc xưa cái luôn chữ ấy các bạn you know you go teach other people là bảo hay thế cái teach là nữa all this stuff but you don't even do what you're teaching it's a lot of BS to me it's a lot of BS that does not resonate with me okay. So you have to be the change that you want to see. If you want to see that you want to see your kids be this and this and this and that, then you got to be the change. You got to start teaching them. You got to change your ways. If you want your kids to be honest to you, you got to be honest to your kids. For real. Be honest with them. Why you lying to them? And then when your kids lie to you, you get mad. Well, you've been lying to your kids too. Make it make sense, yo. Make it make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, so for all these things that I'm teaching them, I have to do it too. I have to do it too. I cannot show my kids that I'm telling them to be consistent, going to school every day, and I'm not consistent. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like teaching them backwards. You're teaching them backwards. You're not teaching them forward. You know, you want to see the change. You want to see the change. You got to be the change. You got to be the one. You the one. You the parent. You the adult. You got to be the change. You got to be the change you want to see. You know, you preaching all this. Practice what you preach. You guys have to learn these things, you know. And we're all learning. We're human, right? We're all human. But you know better, you do better, right? You right? That's what it is. So, you know, there's so many other things that I'm teaching my kids, but the 7 C's is one of the biggest things and the first thing that I start teaching my kids. And after that, I start teaching them other things. But for Nuna, about the 7 C's, okay? So if it resonates with you guys, I hope that you guys take this and help your kids too, because I teach my kids these things, and I know I have a lot of parents, you know, they're like, Kia, how do you have your kids so good? Like, what do you do? What are you doing? And I always tease. I'm like, oh, I just, you know, but it's not true, you know. Most of the time, but when it comes to being professional, oh, I'll tell you guys, you know, as a parent, it's hard. It's not easy, right? But as a parent, you have to understand another thing too. They are truly just kids too, you know. And so you you have to understand they are yet still kids, but we are raising the next generation. And when we are raising the next generation, God forbid, I will not allow my kids to walk into the next generation and do not understand and know these things. What do these words look like? What does it feel like? What do you see? When you see it, I want you guys to acknowledge it. When you acknowledge it, we move on. Let's move on. You know, when other people are doing it, and I was like, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Do you know what that was? What it looked like? You know? And my kids would tell me, oh yeah, that was me being compassionate, or that was me being considerate, or that was me using my common sense, you know? And I will ask them. They will tell me. Every single day, we sit down, we talk about all these things. And they will tell me, well, today I showed compassion because I was helping my friend clean up their mess. I was like, yes, that's good. Yep, that's very, very good. And we go around the whole table and we talk about this. And it helps. It truly, truly helps. And then once I realize that my kids got the 7C down, then I go to the next chapter in life. Because there's so many things in life, right? And I want to prepare my kids so much for the world, because there's so much things in the world that there's a lot of evil in the world, right? So I want to teach them so that they can be the best human being that there can be, you know. Like, I want them to be decent human being. Yes, are they gonna make mistakes? Yes, of course. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not a big deal if you make mistakes. I tell my kids these things, but you guys have to learn from it. If you do not learn from it and you do not believe mom and what I am saying, I tell them, hey, it's okay, because guess what? Life's gonna teach you. Life is your best teacher. If you don't listen to what mom have to say, life will teach you. Life will be your best teacher. If mom is not a good enough teacher, then life's gonna teach you. And you know what's gonna happen then? Only 2 things gonna happen then, okay? You either end up in jail or you end up dead. There's only 2 ways out. If you guys don't listen, those are the only 2 way out. Success is the only option. I tell them that. Success is the only option. There ain't no way out of this. Success, you have to learn. You have to learn. And that's why I teach my kids. And I pound these things to my kids every single day. Every single day. To organization. But what is organization look like? Organization, being a good person, what does it look like? And I told them, this right here, this is the blueprint. I tell them, this is your blueprint. I'm giving you the tool to life. This is the blueprint. And you got to learn how to read the blueprint. Because if you don't learn how to read the blueprint of the map that I already gave you, you don't learn how to read it, only 2 ways. You end up dead or you end up in jail. And those both, it's not good. It's not good, okay? So, peace, love, and light, everybody. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I'm going to go enjoy my day with my kids. I love enjoying my day with the kids. It's my kids are my little gangster crew. That my little gangster crew. I hang out with them every single day. And I don't get bored. I don't get bored because I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate about teaching my kids how to be better human being. And I am so proud, so fortunate to be their mother. I am so happy to be their mother, to be able to teach them all these wonderful things, and I see it little by little. They're changing. They are changing. I'm so happy that I get to do this for them, and it's a forever thing. I told them, you guys may hate me for me keep teaching you guys these things, but I'm sorry. These are the things that you guys are gonna need to learn, because nobody gonna teach you guys. And it's my job. It's our job as parents to teach our kids. Teach our kids, okay? They are the next generation. I always said, I'm gonna leave a legacy. I am going to leave a legacy. My legacy are my children. I'm gonna leave it all to them, and then they're gonna start doing it to their kids, and their kids are gonna do to their kids, and their kids, and the next, and the next, and the next, and that's how we break the generation curse. Peace, love, and light. Have an awesome day.